Welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management, a weekly conversation with area leaders about how to persevere during uncertain times. Now here's your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi again, and welcome to Forward Ever with our guest, Bryan Schulz, who is the general manager of the Kansas State Fair. And Bryan, good to have you on our program.
Well, thank you very much for having me here today. I appreciate it.
I know it has to be busy. You know, I don't see a whirlwind of papers flying in the background, but I know the fair is just days away. How exciting is this time of the year?
It is the most exciting time for us here at the Kansas State Fair. I mean, we culminate our 364 days because as soon as we get done with fair, we're already moving into next year's fair. So it's a culmination of all the great work that our team does here at the Kansas State Fair.
Well, I know you showed up on the scene. We just talked about this, showed up on the scene a little bit before the fair started last year. How has the state fair survived the pandemic? Is it still there? Is it making progress, or is it a catch-up kind of year?
Well, you know, we are very grateful to our legislators here in Kansas. We did receive some money to keep us up and running. I did start 6 weeks prior to fair starting last year, so was a lot of catch up for me. But you know, we are surviving. We are our numbers of our events. A lot of people don't realize this, but we do about anywhere from this last year was almost 500, but on a normal year we do almost 600 other events other than Kansas State Fair here at the Kansas State Fairgrounds.
Now, wait a second. You said 600 additional events other than what goes on during the fair.
Absolutely. We do on average between 35 and 40 weddings and quinceañeras on our grounds. We do cattle shows, horse shows, dog shows. Just about once or twice a month, we have flea markets on the grounds. We have craft shows. We have just about anything you can imagine on the grounds going on. So it totals anywhere from 450 to 600 other events going on the grounds.
Well, you drive by your fairgrounds, it's a beautiful facility, a lot of space, a lot of things, but frankly, we're here to talk about the fair because it's coming up shortly.
That's right.
Talk about the Kansas State Fair in general, because people remember it, maybe going as kids. I have memories driving from our farm south of Clay Center down to the fair with mom and dad and visiting both the livestock and other exhibits that were there. What is the fair like today?
Well, you know, we are, this is our 109th year here at the Kansas State Fair. And I think exactly what you said there, it's all about traditions. When one of the big things that I like to do during the fair time is walk up to people and just, I have no clue who they are. They don't know who I am. And just ask them, hey, you know, we want to welcome you to the fair. Tell me what brought you here. And a lot of it is, you know, my mom and dad brought me here when I was a kid. I want to continue those traditions, or I'm a grandma and grandpa here and we want to bring our grandkids. You know, I've heard from some people that, you know, I met my husband here. We were showing cattle. I kissed my first boy on the double Ferris wheel out here. So, I mean, all those kinds of fun traditions that have created. We are truly wanting to keep that ag sector out in front of people, because that is what the fair is. It's an opportunity for young and old to understand what agriculture is and how important it is to our economy here in Kansas and the United States wide.
So there's a lot of tradition, Bryan. What's new this year at the fair?
Well, we've got a lot of great things that are happening. We've done a lot of upgrades on the grounds. Our expo center, we just did a $1.3 million upgrade in there. Brought that with a new roof, side panels, new heating and ventilation, lighting. So our equestrian area is up and running full speed. We did some upgrades to the grandstand. We also built a brand new Lake Talbot stage that just got finished the other day, and we'll have a ribbon cutting next Thursday, or on Thursday, excuse me, for that one. So lots of great things happening, lots of new adventures coming in with our entertainment, you know, a lot of new contests and things like that. So we're trying to put in new things so when people decide whether or not they're coming, they don't say, well, I was there last year, I don't need to go again. Because there's always things changing and new vendors, new food, and new contests that are going to be here.
One of the things people talk about, you know, you have some concerts. I'd like you to talk about those a little bit, but you mentioned food.
Yeah.
I don't care whether it's the fried Snicker bars or some of the great barbecue. That's one of the reasons you go to the state fair. You see food from all over the state and all over the world, frankly.
Absolutely right. I believe in talking with our commercial department, vendor department, we have like 109 food vendors that are going to be on the grounds. And every year we kind of showcase some of the new things. Last year we were very, very surprised that we were contacted by Carnival Eats, one of the Food Network shows. They actually asked if they could do 2 episodes of our food vendors. And we were like, oh, yeah. And they said, this is the first time we've ever been to a fair where we cut 2 episodes. So that was a kudos to us. And they did a great showcase of us. Now, this year, we've got several new items. One of them is going to be a burnt ends burger. So I'm assuming it's going to be like rib burger. That's going to be over at the original beer garden. We have a waffle, cheese curds, and syrup at the beer garden as well. And then we have the OMG chicken sandwich from Chicken City. And that is, I just saw it at the Nebraska State Fair last week. And it's a Krispy Kreme donut as the bun. And then you've got chicken and bacon and maple syrup. And it looked phenomenal. But the line was so long, I wasn't going to wait. But I'll have one here.
I was hoping that you would try all the food for us so we know what's the best.
Well, believe me, I try eating my way through the fairgrounds, but 109 vendors, that makes it a little tough. Yes.
So talk about the events because there's some great concerts and events that you have going on. Talk about those.
Sure. Well, we'll start off on our livestock side. Our first weekend is our Grand Drive, which is our 4-H exhibit show. That brings in about 36 to 3,700 livestock animals into the grounds, just shy of about 600 kids that will be here showcasing their animals. That culminates on Saturday night with the Grand Drive Green Chips Championship. And that, like I said, that draws in a lot of people. Our on grounds free entertainment, when you come in gate 1 at Gottschalk Park, we've got the Flying Fools. That is an aerial high dive show. It's a comedy show, and then at the end of the show, they go up 80 feet in the air and do some flips into a 10-foot deep pool. I went up and saw that up at the Nebraska State Fair last weekend, and again, not something I would be considering to do, but yeah, it's quite a show that they put on there. We also have Max. Max is a 9-foot high robot, and his best friend Nitro. Nitro is a golf cart turned into a monster truck, and that'll travel out throughout the grounds. And Max is a huge hit for the young kids as well as anyone else, but he'll do a lot of interaction. We've got the strolling piano coming back again this year. It is a piano that is on a motorized cart that drives all over the fairgrounds, playing your favorite songs. He'll take requests. We've also got a contortionist that will be performing over in the Foundation Park area, and he does a phenomenal job. Lake Talbot stage is loaded, as well as People's Bank and Trust Arena, loaded with some phenomenal entertainers throughout Kansas that come here, and that's part of our free stage entertainment group. We've got lots of other things that'll be popping up, like I said, contests. Then you move into our grandstand entertainment, and we are very excited about this year's grandstand entertainment. We started a program back in, I think it was January. We wanted to do a battle of the bands. So we sent out a notice, and we had 38 bands from across Kansas apply. We narrowed that down to 10. In June, we had our Fair Food and Tunes event. That narrowed it down to 5. Those 5 bands will now open up the Kansas State Fair on Friday, September 10th. The top 2 winners will go on then to open for 2 of our main entertainer groups, our national acts. And then Saturday night, we have Parker McCullum and Priscilla Block. They're 2 new and up and coming country stars. They both just dropped brand new records, so we're excited about having them here. 2018, we had Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, come to the fairgrounds. He put on such a phenomenal show. We decided to bring him back again this year. Our ticket sales are through the roof. I believe he just sold out 2 concerts at Dodger Stadium. So that's going to be a great show. Sunday, we go into a dirt event. That's going to be our Monday is Demolition Derby. Tuesday, we have Eddie Montgomery with Montgomery Gentry playing all their hits. Wednesday is Toby Mack. He is our Christian night. Thursday is Quiet Riot and Great White. That, if you're an 80s fan, rock music, that is going to be a phenomenal night. And then Friday night is our Kansas Lottery Chiefs Red Friday Rally. Put that, say that 3 or 4 times fast, right? What we did is we worked with Tech Nine, who does a lot of the Chiefs opening music, along with Blaine Howard. Tech Nine is more on the pop side, and Blaine Howard's on the country side. They are going to come together and do a grandstand entertainment. But we've also got KC Wolf coming. We also have the Kansas Drumline coming. So it's going to be a big gathering, tailgate party, as you could, for the Kansas Chiefs. And we're working with the lottery to put that on. So that'll be a big show. Saturday, we close out our concert series with T.I. and Chingy. Last year we had Nelly. We had a great crowd. We're expecting that along with this pop show. And then we're going to close out the whole fair on Sunday, the 18th, with dirt track auto racing. This is the first time in 20 years that we've had auto racing here at the fairgrounds during fair time. So very excited about all that grandstand entertainment.
Wow, it's packed. I mean, it really is packed. So a couple of things, then we want to take a break and find out how, we'll come back and talk about how people can get tickets, what they should do, and how they should attend. But before, a couple of things coming in I know are going to be new. You have new LED signs that you've installed. There's some new procedures for alcoholic beverages too.
Yes.
And so talk about those two items.
Sure. Well, in the past, we've had what we called our A-frames, and that was where every morning we'd go out and change the sign and tell you what's going on in the grounds. Well, we worked with Shawnee LED screens, and we've got, I believe, 11 of those that will be placed throughout the grounds that will flash up what's going on at that hour. And so you have a better understanding of what is coming up and where it's going to be coming up. So gives the attendees a little more of an advanced notice of what's going to happen and what's up and coming. When we're talking about the alcohol, Senate Bill 2 was something that was passed at this year's legislation, and we're very thankful for that. This gives us the opportunity, as it gave everyone else in the state, to move around the grounds. Prior to this, we were confined to just the 5 beer garden areas. So what was happening is people were having to, if they wanted to have a couple drinks, they were sitting there drinking. This way, we're thinking by having the ability to walk the grounds, they're going to be out checking out things, doing more family type things. And it isn't a new concept in the fair industry. I'm very involved in the fair industry and worked with the Iowa State Fair, the Minnesota State Fair, a lot of the big state fairs. And they actually saw any instances of, over serving or over drinking drop because you weren't confined to a space. So what we're doing now is when you walk into any of our 5 liquor establishments, you will be ID'd. And you will also receive a wristband. That wristband will be color coded and it will be numbered. So if you want to have a couple drinks in the beer garden areas, once you're ready to leave, if you want to go out, you will pour your alcoholic beverage in a clear or translucent white cup. And that is what you'll be able to go around the grounds. Now, there'll be several locations on the grounds that alcohol will not be available to go into. That'll be our 4-H Education Center, our Education Center, the Pride of Kansas building, our domestic arts, our Oz Gallery, anything that we have like, nice showcasing of art pieces and stuff, we're keeping it out of there, or where we feel it's going to be a vast majority of kids being in there. So, and then also the administration building.
Very good, Brian. I want to come back and talk. One thing that's always fun is a carnival. I want to talk about that. And then I want to talk about where people can go to find out more about what days they may want to attend, how they could participate in the fair via online or other ways that they can get that information.
Perfect.
Our guest today is Bryan Schulz, who's the general manager of the Kansas State Fair. Back with more after this.
The most successful investors are those that can keep their emotions in check and take a longer-term view at what portfolios will be worth 3 to 5 years down the road. I'd say that's the most important in determining what investor outcomes are. Market corrections will continue in the future. We've seen many of them over the years, only to see equity prices rise higher, and that'll be the case in the future.
Worth Wealth Management, enhancing lives and strengthening families.
Our guest today on Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, is the general manager of the Kansas State Fair. His name is Bryan Schulz. And Brian, we left going into the break talking about the carnival.
Yes.
I assume there's some really fun rides. What are the ones that are going to make you, when you have all that food, kind of make it come up in your stomach a little bit. Any of those?
Yeah, well, they do have several extreme rides that are going to be coming. Some
Extreme rides, that's what
Yes.
they're called. Okay.
So that's the one that is going to whip your gut a little bit when you're going around in circles and up and down and inside
Are
and
you
out.
riding
So,
that one?
I used to all the time, and I don't have time anymore. I actually put my kids on as the official ride inspectors. They got to go on the rides, and then they could come tell me. But I absolutely love the rides. And North American Midway Entertainment is our carnival. We just signed a 5-year agreement with them again. They do such a phenomenal job. In talking to their owners last year, that was the best year in 2021 that they've ever had here at the Kansas State Fair, even with us being down 20% in attendance. So that says a lot for their fair, or their carnival. Clean, well run, well organized over there. So we're very excited about having them come back.
You mentioned last year being down, kind of coming out of COVID. Is COVID completely behind us?
Well, we hope so. We still have last year, we were able to receive face masks if anybody wanted those. So we'll still have those on grounds if anybody so chooses to have one. But the protocols as far as cleaning, that's going to be continued. We're gonna stay with those, making sure door handles are cleaned quite often throughout the day. A lot of those, but we're not going to be the strict as what was happening last year and prior to that, where face masks and everything else, social distancing. You put the onus back onto the individual right now. So
one of the things that this program talks about is leadership, and coming through the last couple years, it's taken some leadership to keep the fair going and be successful. What have you learned leadership wise going through the last year, and a year, a little bit more for you, but taking on the challenges at the state fair?
Well, I came from more of a regional fairgrounds that was a nonprofit run by a board of directors. One of the biggest changes that I saw, that being a state entity and having to work with our legislators, that was a big thing for me, learning that whole process. But I just have to say that our legislators are very, very in tune to what's going on here, very, very excited about that. And so that was a big challenge for me as a leader. And also, I had about a 12-person staff. We have a 26-person staff here. And it is how the Midwest mentality, which I am so happy to be back in the Midwest, growing up in North Dakota. Everybody is so excited about their part of bringing the fair. So kind of just being that orchestra leader of making sure everything is going down the right path. And I think that was one of the big things that coming here, I was very excited about.
You mentioned your employees there. Have you had trouble, like everybody else, staffing for the fair?
Last year we were down to 5 people in our operations team. Normally we have 12. We couldn't get people to apply. I mean, it was state benefits and state money and all that. We couldn't get anybody to apply. And all of a sudden we did a couple things and we're full house now. So we're very excited about that. And everybody's excited about coming to work in the morning. So
all right, everybody's now listening to this going, how do I go to the fair? What do I do? I may not have a ticket yet. So where do they go to find out kind of the details?
Absolutely. So your best place to go is, we used to do a mobile app. We decided not to do that anymore. We made a mobile friendly website. So you can go out to kansasstatefair.com. That's going to have everything in there. One of the new features that we've added this year, when we were talking about food, you can go to your food finder and you can put in the word Pronto Pup, and it'll tell you every place on the ground that has a Pronto Pup, and it'll actually give you directions to it. So that'll make your life easier, as well as every other vendor that we have out here on the grounds. It'll also give you the opportunity to tell you what is our special days. We've got Dylan's Dollar Day on Monday. If you're a Dylan's card member, you get in free. If you're not, it's $1 to get in. We have Tasty Tuesday, which you'll get tastings at some of our food vendors for $2. We have got, our military discount. If you're a military person, bring in your ID, you get in for $4. So there's so many opportunities for you to get in inexpensively. On Thursday, that's our Young at Heart Day. And it's anybody 55 and over gets in for $2. Thank you to Kansas Department of Aging. And then the lottery is sponsoring Friday. If you're a Play-On member and you bring in your app, you get in for $2 that day. So lots of opportunities for you to get into the fair inexpensive.
Is there or are there family deals that families can take advantage of?
Absolutely. If you go out, and I know they're selling fast, we only have a few left of them. If you go out to our ticket area on the website, you can buy family packs that include your gate admission, food admission, carnival rides, and the opportunity to go on the big slide, the train, the boats, the sky ride, and the Ye Olde Mill.
Wow, sounds like fun. Bryan, I think you've done a great job in your year plus of making sure the fair is exciting, and just look forward to hearing the results back. And I know COVID kept a lot of people away. And what I've seen recently, people are wanting to get out and do fun things. This is a great day trip, 2 or 3 day trip, and see some great things. So I hope people get out, come and see the state fair, because there's not only a lot of history, but there's some really fun new things as well.
Most definitely. And on our site, it says plan your visit. That'll give you everything you need to know as far as parking, tickets, grandstand. If you buy your tickets for the grandstand, that does include your gate admission as well. So you want to make sure that you don't throw away your ticket as you walk in the front gate, because you won't be able to get into the concert then. But so lots of things have changed. So check it out. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us here at the Kansas State Fair.
Very good, Bryan. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for listening in to Forward Ever here on Eagle Communications and Eagle Radio. Bryan Schulz has been our guest today. Bryan is the general manager of the Kansas State Fair. The program is brought to you today by Worth Wealth Management, where you can live with confidence. I'm Gary Shorman.
Thanks for joining us for Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management. Join us right here next week for another episode with host Gary Shorman. Until then, remember to move forward ever, backward never.